Hi, it's Bernadette Thomas from Rosby. We are talking all about menopause this month, and today I wanted to share some things for people going through menopause and how to manage it. And this is really, really pertinent for people at work. So I think it's a really relevant topic for us to be covering off, not just for women, but for everyone who has to manage women and work with women who are going through perimenopause and menopause. So some of the main things that you might want to be thinking about if you are suddenly feeling really overwhelmed all the time, if you're noticing that your sleep is being disturbed, maybe it's hot flushes, maybe you've got night sweat, maybe you just have brain fog and you can't think of the word. I mean, that happens to me all the time. But if there are things that you feel are suddenly just a bit harder than before, you might not have the same energy levels, you might feel like you're putting on weight. There are lots of things going on at this time for women. So number one, I really, really implore you to go easy on yourself. Give yourself a break. Do some things every single day that make you happier and enjoying life a lot more. And I know that's easier said than done. So here are some tips from us. Number one is really manage your sleep. So if you can, avoid alcohol, don't drink too much caffeine near a bedtime, don't work in bed. Give yourself a break from your work a couple of hours before you're going to bed, and just see if that starts to help things. A tip for if you're suffering with brain fog, if you just have overwhelm, write stuff down. Keep a diary of things and a to-do list if you need to, but something where you can capture everything that's on your mind, because it's just too much to keep in your head all the time. And brain fog is a real thing because of our changing hormone levels. And then there are other things, like if you're at work and you are suffering with hot flushes, or you do feel like you're stressed a lot more, can you start to practice some mindfulness techniques? It might be things like just doing a puzzle, it might be things like going for a walk, it might be practicing some breathing techniques. Some other ideas are to just have ready for yourself your dialogue for what am I going to say if I have a hot flush at work? What do I need? Could I just ask to have a short break? Could I go and remove myself and maybe go outside? What are the things that you need in order to manage your own symptoms that you've got? Now, for a lot of people, they don't realize that they are going through perimenopause and menopause. So some of the things that you might be more mindful of are just taking a check of your regular cycle, and seeing what's going on in your cycle, if there are any changes that you've noticed there. It could be that for some weeks you feel absolutely fine, and that's great, but other weeks you feel really, really down in the dumps. You might be really low on energy, noticing you're putting on weight. And this is the thing with our hormones, is that they change all the time. So you might feel like, oh, it's not happening to me. Actually, it could be happening to you. So just keep a note of things that are happening for you. It's so easy to just say it's the normal stresses of life, but there are so many things that we can do to help ourselves. And going and speaking to your GP is number one, really, and getting some tests done. They're not the best tests through the NHS in the UK, so it could be that you have to persist and ask to have a referral to a menopause specialist. But definitely keep a check of things, note down all of your symptoms, and I think that there's a lot to be said for doing a lot more research ourselves, finding out what treatments there are out there, and if you do need it, just see what happens and see how it might help you. I really hope that that helps. I think that there's another point really, which is around finding yourself a mentor at work, or a coach if you are really struggling with the general load. This is the perfect time for us as women to be really progressing in our careers, and I would love to support as many people as possible who are going through these changes, to really help them to deal with all of this overwhelm and deal with how they're feeling and stresses that they might be feeling at work. So do get in contact if you think that you could benefit from some coaching, and I would also recommend, as I mentioned, to find a mentor at work who might be able to just bounce some ideas, or just help you through this time. All the best, and we'll speak soon.